Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the important topic of family values and why we think they're the secret to a strong family team. In this episode, you're going to hear about our family values, which is kind of a bit of a funny story, how they came about. Learn the importance of family values, and we'll give you just a couple of tips on how you might be able to create your own set of values. So grab your favourite beverage and a snack. Hit the like and subscribe button before you even hear what we've got to say. And let's jump right in.
So, how did our family values come about, babe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's a funny story, but it actually started because I went to Kmart one day and I found one of those like letterboards, and I was like, "Oh, that'd be cool." Looking for more decor in our house. Brought it home with absolutely no plan. Steve thought it was a really silly idea because he thought it would junk up our house more. But yeah, so I wanted to put something on there that was actually meaningful and made just reminded our kids, I don't know, some really good things about who we want to be as a family. And so then I was like, well, let's put on some family values. And as I prayed about it, God really revealed to me each one of the values. And it really started forming Team Crocker and, just really made it really obvious who we are and who we want to be. Not only that, but our kids actually couldn't read at the time either.
No.
Which was even funnier.
And we never referred to them either. They just sort of sat
them.
there. So they really meant nothing.
Meant nothing, except people knew who Team Crocker were.
Except Team Crocker didn't know who Team Crocker was.
But what's been really cool about it, even though Steve really put down the idea at first, how wrong he was. Because
I'll take that.
But yeah, it has really made a major impact in our home, and we refer to it really regularly. It shows us, now our kids can read, they often read them. It shows them who we are. It also shows our visitors who we are and who we want to be as well, as Team Crocker, and what we value.
So I guess you're all thinking, what are our values? So here we go. This is Nicole's
with a few letters missing.
Sort of vain board that she bought just for a little bit of decor. I think it's backwards on your screen, which is a bit annoying. But these are our values, and they sit in our dining area. And we use them and refer to them a fair bit. You'll see they've been like large K's and letters missing and things like that. They've sort of been around a bit, and we will rebuild these at some point. But that's kind of part of the charm and part of who we are. And so we're actually right now in the process of adjusting some of them. And because we've been using them with our family team nights, our kids have been able to speak into our values and what they want on there. So that's it. That's just like $20 from Kmart or something. They're all on Amazon. Grab one of those, and that's our team values.
Yeah.
So how do we use them? Well, every family team night, so every Thursday night, we have a family team night. It's a very special night, and the kids set the table and the meal's on the table, and we serve each other up. From time to time, we like to invite grandparents. So we need to get better at that. And on that night, we go through a few things. We'll do a podcast about that. But one of those is our value for the week. And so we visit each of our values. I think there's 10 on there. So every 10 weeks we go through each of them. And often we'll talk through our values, and we talk about how can we practice this value intentionally this week. And we'll usually set a bit of a challenge for us and for the kids and go through that. And so we use that team night. We use it to disciple and discipline our kids as well. So if, let's say, a child's not listening, we'll say, remember, Team Crocker, point to the board. The board becomes the authority. Team Crocker listens. We're quick to listen. Okay, if we're not sharing, we'll go, look, Team Crocker shares. Okay, that's what it means. That's what we value as part of being part of the kids.
And then on the flip side, when they are displaying one of those behaviours, that they are quick to listen, when they listen first-time obedience or something like that, we then refer to the family value board and say, I would love how you're displaying this value today, which has been a really cool way of building them up as well.
And encouraging
those behaviours in our house. And we also often get lots and lots of questions
Yeah.
about it. Often when people come to our house, they will be like, "Oh, that's really cool," and then they'll read through them and they'll ask about them. And so, yeah, it's been a really positive way to influence other people as well. And also, again, it just shows who Team Crocker are and what we value and how we really are trying to seek Jesus in our lives. So, and in our family. Yeah, it's been really cool.
So why family values? You can spend all the time in the world creating a set of family values like Nicole did.
Which has worked out really well.
If you're not going to use them, it's not going to build your family team. We had probably 3 years where the family values were just sitting there and nothing was actually happening with them until we realised, these are really helpful for our family team.
They looked good, but yeah.
Yeah. And so you need to make a connection with your family. But what do values do for your family? The first thing they do is actually build identity and connection. They give us a sense of identity. They give our kids a sense of identity and a sense of safety as we connect together, and they know what's expected of them and things like that. They remind us that we're on a team. Okay, they remind us that we're together and we're not a bunch of individuals out doing our own thing. They remind us of our purpose. Our number one purpose is to build our children up in the way of the Lord. Yeah. And so these continually bring us back to Christ-centered values that we wish for our family. And of course, that all has to come with the grace of God, because we can't be perfect in that we do. Yeah, that's right. And it gives our kids that sense of belonging. They know that they belong to a team rather than just being themselves in a house with a bunch of other people, and builds that purpose as we live together for Jesus. It allows us to lift each other up and to grow together. We talked a bit before. The values give us an opportunity to celebrate the things that we're doing well. They give us the opportunity to expand our mission, so valuing other people outside of our family, but as a team. And we celebrate when an individual does something, like they're kind to a kid at school. We'll be talking about that around the table, and I was kind to this kid at school, and we're able to sort of celebrate and lift each other up and grow each other in that. And they really push that love, the kindness, the listening, that values other people outside of our team.
Yeah, they're also a shared language, I guess, and a common language within our family. It's a common understanding of the way that we want to treat each other, the way that we're going to behave, the way we talk to each other. And it's the kids actually understand the words. Some of the words are quite large. They're like boundless patience. And we've talked about what does that actually mean. And so they have the shared language and understanding of what it actually means now, which has been really cool. Family values also aren't just for the kids, but they're actually for us too. And a really major aspect of having family values for your home is to actually model them as parents. And it's for us to follow and to show our children how to do it, and then they can imitate us. A bit like that verse in the Bible where Paul talks about imitate me as I imitate Christ. And as parents, we want to imitate Christ, and we want our kids to imitate us as we imitate Christ. So
like it or not, you're actually the number one influence on your children's life as parents. And so for us, the most important thing is that we are the ones who model these values.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can also be modeled through our hard times as well. You might have a major crisis comes up, but you can still model to your kids how you're still going to speak life, or how you're still going to desire Jesus, or how you're still going to be kind in this situation. And so it's not a rule-based and punishment-based idea, but it's based on relationship, isn't it? And responsibility as parents, as children, as people, people of God as well, and also a way to love one another and guide our children on how to love other people. It's easy just to say, let's love everybody, but how are you actually going to do that? And so through our values, we've got be kind, be gentle, be quick to listen, be slow to speak. And yeah, it's just been a really good way of being able to model to them how we should act as people in the world and as people in a family.
I think it's also important to note that we still have rules. We still have expectations. It's
Absolutely.
not
Yeah.
that that values are wishy-washy, but we have a rule where you have to share your toys, not just because you've got brothers and sisters, but because we're kind and we share. Or we have a rule that you don't play with our things roughly or try to break things. Why? Because we have rules which talk about values which are all about taking care of our things, taking care of each other. And so it's not that we don't have rules and that we don't have consequences, because there's always natural consequences to our actions, but the values just help to guide them as well.
Yeah.
So you've made some values, you've thought about it, you've put them onto a beautiful board and put them up. Hopefully you've done a better job and you've talked through it and they look like this. How do you maintain them? It's a bit unrealistic to think it's a set and forget and they'll be your values forever. I think that as your family grows and changes, as kids get older, as more kids get added, as seasons shift, it's important to adjust and shape your values. The early years are very formational, and that's where you do a lot of your really hard yakka work on like your listening and your obedience and all that sort of stuff. As they get older, it becomes more about like responsibility as they're growing and what they and respect, and all those sorts of things. So it's important that you evaluate, and we're in the process of evaluating ours right now, but we're looking to do that every sort of 12 months, evaluating and doing what we'll do. Most of the time, it will just be little tweaks, okay, as you go. But at times, there might be bigger changes to what you want to do based on your situation.
Yeah, you also sometimes might have something that comes up in your family that you then need to put onto your values for a season. For example, one of our children started lying to me quite a bit, and so we haven't actually done it yet, but we've talked about the fact that we need to put on there about that our family always tells the truth, and so we don't. We don't just then put it on there and leave it. We then need a huge part of it is to then make sure you actually tell every member of the family that this is the new value and we go through it. That's why we have family team nights as well to help go through the values. But you might find that you need to tweak them, or you might have a behavior that's coming up regularly that you then need to address through your family values as well. So
and I think we've had family team nights where we've sort of just brought a different value that's not on the board. It's only for that week. So just thinking about, a family member passes away, a grandparent or something, and so one of your values might be about grieving well together and how you support each other through grief, or your car breaks down, and so it might be a value of praying for provision, for God to provide what you need for that, or whatever it might be. There's many situations that can happen to do that. But I think what's important is that we're on the same page.
Absolutely.
With our values, we need to be on the same page. We need to discuss them
as parents and then as a whole family.
As a whole family. So our kids have input into the values as well.
Yeah, we actually talked about recently what values we think. We've gone through our values quite a few times, and then it's like, okay, what do you think we might need to add, or what do you think we might need to take away? So we're actually starting that process at the moment, and then we're going to pray about them as a family to reform them for next year. So maintaining the values is a really important aspect of building your family team and continue to grow and grow your family the way you believe God wants you to do that. So that's from us. That's our turn. We've done ours and we're still working on ours. Now it's your turn.
Yeah. So like we said, we want to resource people. So if you head to our website, www.gracefueledfamilies with the Australian spelling, get on there, a 5-day family activity. What did we call it?
Family team building
building guide. You can head on there. One of those 5 days is a values day where you get to look at your values. We're also in the process. Start establishing and implementing them. We're also in the process, and coming soon will be a course where there'll be a bunch of content, activities, teaching around the values, where we expand it out in quite a bit of detail, and how your values can lead into your mission and your daily life as a family.
Yeah. So once again, thanks for listening today. That's us signing out for the day. Remember to like and subscribe just below, and keep listening in for more content each week.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. God
Signing
bless.
out.